Welcome back to Here and Now, everyone. The cost of childcare is breaking the bank for many families in this province. And this week, Here and Now is telling you their stories. Tonight, we take a look at the help provided by government for low-income families. While there are subsidies, what the government considers low income doesn't necessarily match up with the cost of living. Here and Now's Amy Studley reports.
Lisa Guest runs an unregistered childcare business out of her home in Bay Bulls. It's the only way she can afford care for her own children.
I would like to be working in a daycare, but like you say, with what we're getting paid, there's no health and dental, there's nothing.
Guest used to work in a daycare making minimum wage. She got a discount on childcare for her own kids and her government subsidy covered the rest. But supporting 2 kids on a minimum wage job was impossible. She found a better job, but life got harder.
The higher the pay, the less subsidy I get. I'm still only a one-income family. So to me, it's not making sense in that way, because you go from minimum wage to $13 an hour, and all of a sudden, you know, you're paying through the roof.
Paying for childcare meant a lot less money for food, heat, and other things the family needed.
I would have been better off sticking with the lower paying job so that I would have been able to afford more things.
She couldn't afford to have someone care for her children, so she quit her job and opened a child care center at home. She charges almost $500 less a month than most registered centers, but she doesn't have to worry about paying someone else to look after her kids.
I wouldn't want those parents to be put in the situation that I was put in.
But a lot of parents are in that situation. The more money they make, the harder it is to survive. We're all living it. Take a look at the cost of food. It's a lot more expensive to feed your kids today than it was in 2007 when the provincial government created the current child care subsidies. It's based on a time when food was cheaper and minimum wage was only $7 an hour. If a family makes $2,290 a month, they qualify for the full subsidy, no daycare bill. But it means they have to take a job that pays less than minimum wage. If the family income is $3,340 a month, that's about 2 full-time minimum wage jobs. Parents pay $500 toward childcare. If the family brings in $4,360 a month, about $14 an hour per parent, they have to pay $1,015 for childcare. And that's where it ends. If they make more than that, they don't get any help at all. We aren't talking about people who make a lot of money here. People on these incomes are barely getting by. But the more you make, the harder it gets. Julia Holman Price realized that when she got a promotion at work.
I got a job with my current employer, so I pretty much overnight almost doubled my income. As soon as that happened, I lost the housing that I was in because my income was too high. My baby bonus became non-existent, and daycare subsidy pretty much became non-existent at that point too.
Before the promotion, government support helped her with housing, daycare, and sports for the kids. She went from making less than $25,000 a year to a little more than $50,000. Now she's going deeper and deeper into debt to pay for childcare and other bills.
Literally, to go out and buy groceries is deciding if the heat and light's going to be paid. The bare necessities with heat, light, daycare, the roof over our head, and a car to and from work takes up 100% of my income. Extras, as in groceries, gas, clothing, medication, is non-existent. So it's literally deciding which bills are racking up and which services are going to be cut off so that you can provide the necessities.
And she can only afford to pay one childcare bill. So the youngest goes to daycare after school and the 11-year-old often comes home alone.
You think double your income and you'd be okay? No, complete opposite. I took the job essentially because I didn't want to be on the system. I didn't want my kids growing up in housing. I didn't want to have to be turning to the government, you know, hand over fist looking for help. I wanted to be able to sustain my kids on my own. It backfired.
It's not supposed to be this way. Things should get easier when you make more money. But for people like Julia Holman Price, a higher income means a harder life, thanks to an outdated government program. Amy Studley, CBC News, Mount Pearl.
The federal government paid out $3 billion to parents this week. It's a retroactive payment for the increase in the universal child care benefit. The Conservatives say parents will get more than $700 extra per year. But as Amy Studley reports, it may not be quite as advertised.
It doesn't matter how much I make. Every family with children under 18 qualifies.
Money for all parents, no strings attached. That's what the federal government is advertising. It's topping up the universal child care benefit to give parents more money. But is it too good to be true?
It's unfortunate, the government is coming out now right before an election time to give people, a big boost in their bank accounts and let them think about the Conservative Party is helping families. But when you really think about it, when parents have to file their taxes next spring, it's really not going to be as helpful as they're making it out to be.
On the surface, it looks great. Parents will now get $160 every month for children under 6. That's $60 more than what they used to get, making it an extra $720 a year to help pay for childcare. And they're extending the benefit to parents with kids over 6. They'll now get $60 a month. This week, parents got a lump sum payment of more than $500, retroactive to the start of the year. But it's not exactly as advertised. The money will be taxed, so for a parent here making $50,000 a year, that extra $720 is reduced to $540 after tax. And to make up for the extra spending, the federal government axed the child care tax credit of $2,255, which was worth about $350 per child. That leaves you with about $200 extra dollars, or $17 a month, to help pay for childcare. Not exactly the $720 the federal government is advertising. Yvette Walton with the Single Parents Association says the message is deceptive.
A lot of people are going to be very upset and very angry when they find they have to pay tax on what looked like a windfall of back payment from January to July.
Up front, it looks pretty good if you look at an extra $160 a month to go towards your child care costs. If you look at a young family that has young children that are paying $60, $70 per day for child care, it really does very little.
The Harper government disagrees and says this extra money puts parents in a better position to pay for child care. Amy Studley, CBC News, St. John's.